Hi, I'm Dr. Joan Friedman. Welcome back to Twin Tuesday. I want to tell you about an interesting project that I'm working on. Um, my children and my grandchildren have all gone to the same preschool. And I've been working on a project with the preschool teacher who's been teaching there for more than 40 years. And of course, she has so many pearls of wisdom, having seen the evolution of parenting during the time when I had my children there, and now I have my grandchildren there. And we've begun a series of talks together about how we can sort of make parenting a little bit more accessible, given how incredibly busy parents are today. I mean, people say, oh, read an article on the internet or pick up a book but it's very hard to have kind of a concise and integrated approach to certain subjects. So she and I have been talking for a number of months now and trying to consolidate some of our knowledge. She has much more practical knowledge. I have more developmental knowledge, and putting that together has been really a wonderful, fun project. And I've certainly learned a lot because I was never great on the strategy end of things. Um, so I know I was going through my mind some of the things to talk about today, and they do pertain to parenting twins also. So it's with that in mind that I'd like you to listen to a lot of what I'm going to be presenting. So I thought one of the topics that I've been working on with the preschool teacher is this notion of rupture and repair. And this is also a very important concept that one works with in therapy with clients. I work with it myself all the time, and it's something that maybe parents aren't aware it's so important to do, with their children. In the heat of the moment, of course, all of us have had these moments in the heat of the moment with our children, with, members of our family or our spouses, that we say something really nasty. We snap at them, or we say something really mean, or we're so frustrated that whatever we say comes out in a really disgraceful tone. And afterwards, we feel so bad and so guilty about it. And this is unfortunately human nature because the way we live these days is so much rushing and everyone's so busy, and we don't have a lot of time to kind of calm ourselves down in the heat of the moment. Even though therapists are very well trained at doing that, is not to be reactive as much as possible. Um, so when we get that way with our kids, when we say something like, that was terrible, or that was not the right thing to do, or I told you not to do that, or you're going to get punished for that. Whatever it is in the heat of the moment where you wished in retrospect that you could have handled this differently, it's always a wonderful thing to say, in a moment of calm, and when the kind of whatever the upheaval has sort of passed, that you can sit down and talk to your child, given whatever developmental level they are, in their own way they can understand, and say, wow, that was a really difficult moment between the two of us. And I know I was very upset and I was angry and I said some things I shouldn't have said, and I feel bad about it. And I just want you to know that I'm going to try better next time, or I'm going to try to calm myself more so that when I see you doing something that upsets me, I can approach it in a different manner. It really doesn't matter exactly what you say, but when you apologize or say I'm sorry, or you're sharing your self-reflective knowledge about your inner turmoil or your inner feelings, and you're sharing that with a child who really doesn't even understand yet what all of that is, it is such a loving, kind, and reparative thing to do, to ease through a moment where you were very disconnected, and to find a nice, peaceful, loving moment to connect. Because all of us, adults as well, like it when we've had these kinds of disruptive moments. If one or both parties can come back and say, wow, that was really I shouldn't have said that, and that's not exactly what I meant, but I felt so angry and disappointed at the time that what I wanted to convey, which would have been much more helpful and healthy, just didn't come to my mind. But now I want to do it, and I want to really say, I'm sorry for what I said. Because it's interesting. We model behavior for our children. And so if we can say to them, I'm sorry, I got too upset. I should have calmed down. I needed to handle this differently with you. You're teaching them something so important about communication, about social cues, about social emotional sort of relationships. And so those moments of rupture and repair are really so educative, really for all of us to help our children and ourselves understand that we can feel something at one time and we can explain it to another at another time. So, thank you for listening, and I hope I'll be giving more of these parenting tips, in the Twin Tuesdays to come. Okay, bye-bye.